It's time to keep it real. My boy Jay Lee is here. What's going on, brother?
What's up, man?
Good to see you, man.
You too, brother.
So, coronavirus. You got your mask yet?
So, yeah. I actually, I saw a meme on the internet, and it was a dude with a pair of panties on his face. So I was folding laundry, and I saw it. My wife was out with the kids, and I strapped one over my ears. Did? Yeah. And I sent it to her, and she was like, "You're so stupid."
Well, hey, I mean, jokes aside, let's look at the coronavirus. Right now, if you look at the stock market, so we'll just pull this up real quick, Paul. See here, yesterday we were down like 1,000 points, and today down another 500. Good news for mortgage rates.
Yeah.
So for a lot of people, so let's just we'll look at the positives real quick, okay? Coronavirus is a real thing. It's happening elsewhere. They're sort of fear-mongering us a little bit, I feel like, though. Like, when they talk about stuff like this, I mean, how many have we had in our time? We have the swine flu, the bird flu.
Bird flu.
What was the one before that?
Was it A1N1?
A1N1.
Yeah.
Then we had, what did we have before that? There was one before that. And so
AIDS?
Yeah, there was. Yeah, you don't hear as much about AIDS anymore.
No, it's almost like it doesn't matter anymore.
It's strange. And Magic Johnson looks great.
Yeah.
By the way, he's buff.
Yeah.
So I don't know what he's doing, but someone needs to let the secrets out. But yeah, so it's like these things come up, and we all get. I mean, but the flu is actually killing fools. Like, it's so, in my opinion, just from the numbers I'm looking at, like, man, the flu is a lot more worrisome.
Yeah, I'd be more scared of the flu. It kills more people than coronavirus. Like, if you look at your Clorox wipes, it says coronavirus on there. Like, it'll kill the coronavirus. So, like, it's been around. It's nothing new.
Really?
Yeah. It's just it's been around forever. It's just not been an epidemic because,
Have you seen some of the videos, though?
People don't eat bats in America. So, I mean.
Are you sure? I don't. But
I don't know anyone who eats bats. I mean, do you know anyone?
Anyone eats bats? Comment. Let us know. We are live right now on Facebook. Ozzy Osbourne eats bats.
He does?
Bit the head off the bat.
I mean, he's a little bit extra, isn't he?
Yeah.
So we got coronavirus going on. The fear mongering is going on. The opportunity, though, right now seems to be real estate. I mean, it's just on fire.
Dude,
the market right now.
It's been insane, bro. I don't know how many times like I can put an offer in on a property for one of my clients, and before I even send the offer, an agent will text me, "Hey, we received 8 offers today." Okay, wow. Cool. Would you like one more?
Yeah. How do you approach that though, for real? Like
for us, I mean, it's so when we're going up against multiples, you mean?
Yeah.
So on the buy side, when you're coming at a transaction and you're going up against competition, well, how do you beat the competition, right? You come in stronger, right? So it's kind of like think about like a weightlifting competition. Whoever's bigger, faster, stronger is going to win, right? So same thing in real estate. We come in bigger, stronger, and faster. We close faster. We come in with a higher loan amount, and we have less contingencies or better terms, and we beat the offers. And I always like to ask the agent, "Hey, well, what do your sellers really want?" Right? I mean, it's kind of like negotiating with a terrorist, right? Like you got to find out what they want so you can get what you want, which is the people in the home. Not saying everybody in real estate's a terrorist.
I was just gonna let it slide, man. I was just letting it slide.
But no, it's just you got to come in and relationships are huge, man. Like I've done a lot of deals here in San Diego, and so like when I call an agent and they've heard of me or they've done a deal with me already or my team, we can use that relationship because we're smooth. We get things done to help massage that a little bit and be like, hey, give me some inside info. What do they really want? What will it take to win? And that's the key.
Do you ever ask about like rent back? Just say, hey,
all
does
the time.
the seller need a rent back for any period
All the
of time?
time. I've actually given a seller a month rent back free. Yeah. I let them seller remain in place for 30 days. That's how we won the deal.
That's how you win deals right there.
Right. So we gave them 30 days. We didn't go up in price, but we said, we'll give you 30 days in the house rent free. And they were like, what? You're going to let us stay here for a month? Yeah. My buyer's not even in town. They're out of state. So they won't even be here for a month. So it's a perfect opportunity to leverage that, to use that to get into the home.
Yeah, because sometimes that does matter for sellers. Sometimes they're not quite ready to move, or they would love to have a little buffer, between, hey, we're getting out of here and we're going to the next one. So I think that's a really good idea. We've got a live question here. Robert Combs like, what's up, Robert? He said, Ozzy's bit a bat thinking it was fake. That's something Ozzy would do for sure. So I like that though, because this is the reality of the market we're in, man. If we're going to keep it real, the market is super tight. It is competitive. You need to have your shit together. You need to know what's going on. Like it is not a kind of market where you can willy-nilly around and hope things work out. Like you got to be tight.
This is the market right now where you're seeing, the fly-by-night realtors disappear, right? There's lack of inventory. There's it's very, very slim on homes on the market. So, like, if you look at the stats from last year compared to this year, month by month, we had, hundreds of more homes on the market last year, same time frame.
Yeah.
Even though our year-to-year average of homes being sold is about the same, but the less inventory is what's killing us. I mean, San Diego has so many restrictions on building new properties. We're about 200,000 homes short right now, just in San Diego. Yeah, just in San Diego City. That's not even the whole county. That's just in the city. So I mean, if you count every other small, suburb, I mean, we're short so many homes for people, and that's why they're making it easier to build ADUs in the backer properties to let people, house extended family members. It's very, very difficult right now. So like, when we call people, it's like, hey, like I honestly really do have buyers looking at your house, because they like the one next door. You have the same exact house, but that one they lost out on. So are you willing to sell? And they're just like, maybe. The problem is, with prices so high in San Diego, if they sell, where are they going to go?
What are they going to do?
Right. So, it really only helps benefit people that are planning on moving out of the area.
Yeah.
Well,
I think what's interesting about it is this, like, if you kind of go about it with the wrong team in place, and we've seen this happen.
Oh, yeah.
Where somebody is using like a credit union or something like that, and then a realtor that they don't really know. They don't really know. They're missing out. They just keep losing out, and they're losing, and they're not getting there. And you can get really, really frustrated.
Oh, yeah.
But if you have everything together, if you're high and tight, and you have a really good team that you're working with, you have a good agent, good lender, you can make things happen in this market still.
Oh, you definitely can, man. It's funny that you say having a good team, because, like, I have done deals where, let's say I was the buyer side or agent on something, and I just recently closed this one, and the listing agent was like, all right, well, escrow is this person, title is this person. And I straight told the listing agent, no, it's not happening. I'm not working with that escrow officer ever again. We've done 4 or 5 deals with that person, had to make formal complaints to their corporation numerous times on this one person, because they don't even know what's going on.
Wow.
They try to get us to do their job for them.
Wow.
Right? Like, hey, here's the escrow packet, print it out and give it to your buyer for me. You're supposed to mail that to them? And yeah, don't ask for EMD for 3 weeks. That's cool. We're supposed to close tomorrow. You haven't received your earnest money deposit. How does your seller feel? So
do they even know?
Yeah, like having a good team, not just your realtor lender, but your escrow, your title, everyone involved. That's a big part of it. I hate to see it happen to people because they get so frustrated.
Yeah, I understand. I do. It's a tough market. It's tight inventory, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
So when something comes up and it's good, you can be for sure there's going to be multiple offers.
Oh, definitely.
So relationship with the agent that you can create, rapport, is going to be super crucial.
Yeah.
But then that agent needs to know, because think about it, if you're the seller in this market. When you accept an offer, you're off the market.
Right.
You are now handing over all the hand in the relationship to the buyer.
Yes.
And say, now this is your property. If you want it, take a couple weeks to decide. You know what I mean? So here you have a multiple offer situation, but you don't want to go back on the market.
No. That's the worst thing to do. It really is. Because then people go, what's wrong with the house?
Exactly.
Their first response is, what's wrong with the house? Not that the buyer couldn't get their loan approved. Not that the buyer went and bought a Maserati 3 days before closing. None of that. Not that the buyer got arrested for a DUI. It's always, what's wrong with the house?
Yep. Right?
And it's usually not the house. I saw one instance in La Jolla, it was definitely the house. But
I've seen it be the house too.
Yeah.
But it's rare.
But it's rare. It is rare. Because, normally when you're selling a home, you get it ready to sell. Like you're prepping all that. Very rarely do I see one, unless it's, a fixer-upper and they're selling it as a fixer-upper. But you're not going to get $5 million for a fixer-upper. It's not going to happen.
Correct.
Not yet, anyway.
No, yeah, it might in certain areas, but not for the majority of San Diego County. And most people who are selling their house are trying to maximize the profit, which means they're trying to get the house as ready as possible.
Right.
So for the most part, when something comes back on the market, it's not the property, but no one cares. The market doesn't care what the reason is. They assume the inspection didn't go well.
Yep.
They assume there's something wrong with it, and the buyer said, nope, we're out. So you have to be very careful when you're the listing agent selecting that offer. You need to feel confident that the lender's going to be able to do their thing, that you trust them, that the agent is someone that's respectable, that's done deals before, that isn't just blowing smoke. You got to feel comfortable and confident, because at the end of the day, as a listing agent, you take all the offers to the seller. But usually the seller does what? Says, Jay, what do you think?
Exactly.
So,
every time.
Right? They want to know.
Which one do you think I should pick? Which one's actually better? Right? And I've actually taken deals at a lower price. So we've had multiple offers on my listings. And, we'll get one for, let's say, $630 and one for $635. Like, it depends on who's on the other side of that.
Yeah.
How, do they give me a warm and fuzzy? Like, am I getting that good feeling from that agent and, the paperwork that was filled out? Because if they're missing signatures, initials, check boxes, their attention to detail is kind of lacking, right? And I'm a military guy, so if you're missing basic stuff like that, like, what are you going to miss in the whole transaction? Like, how difficult is this going to be? And did you miss anything on your buyer? Did you actually pre-approve them? Or is it just a pre-qualification letter that they haven't been pre-approved?
Let's talk about that for a second, because I'll drop my NMLS 155010 in there before we talk about the loan stuff. So the pre-qualification, I like to lay this out for people. Hey, this is credit qualifying. I'm going to credit qualify you for a home. The pre-approval is I'm going to actually verify everything. So there's a difference between the two. A lot of times people will send out a pre-approval letter just with pre-qualification data. That's where you can get into trouble. So one of the things I like to do is I like to actually call the listing agent and say, hey, just want you to know, we have pre-approved this person. We have verified their documentation. This isn't just a credit qualification. Because I think that's an important thing for the listing agent to know, especially in a competitive market like this. Like, hey, I need to know that this is rock solid before I select this offer.
Definitely. And that's, as a listing agent, when I get a pre-qual letter, the first thing I ask is, do you actually have a pre-approval? Has it been verified, right? And I'll go back and say, well, have you already been, pre-underwritten? That's another thing too. I'll ask that question.
Yep.
Because, if they've already been through underwriting, I know it's even stronger than just a regular pre-approval.
True.
So it takes that next step. Of course, that process takes a lot longer, and if they just started this process a couple days ago, they may not have the underwriting done already. But just knowing for the simple fact that, hey, they've taken these steps to, make sure that they're good to go, check and recheck, then that gives me a warm fuzzy more than, hey, here's a pre-qual letter for, I saw one, the guy sent it over, was about $800,000, right? Turns out he couldn't even buy a $500,000 home.
What a waste of time for everyone.
Right? It was a huge debt-to-income ratio issue.
See,
right? And
so
he made plenty of money, had decent credit, but he owed a lot of money, and that's what hurt him.
well, we're keeping it real here, so let's talk about that, because a lot of buyers, like you're saying there, hey, that's a committed buyer. That's someone who said, we're going to buy a house. We're just not sure which one. A lot of people are like, well, we're waiting to find a house that we love before we decide if we're going to buy or not.
No.
A lot of people are in that. A lot of people do that. And they want to look at houses. They want to fall in love first, and then go, what do we need to do now to get this place? Tough road to go in this market, though.
It's the wrong road to go through. Think about it. You're going to look at a house that's hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you don't even know if you can buy it yet. You want to fall in love with something just to have it taken away from you? That's just, like, what if you don't make enough money? What if you don't have your credit check, good to go? What if you have, discrepancy on your credit? What if you have high debt? You fall in love with this $800,000 house, and now you can't buy it. Now you're looking at $400,000 houses, and I'm going to tell you this. There's a huge difference.
Hard to go backwards.
Between $800,000 and $400,000.
Really hard to go backwards.
As far as houses. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So at that point, you feel defeated. You want to give up, right? Because, your dream home is over there, and you make the money, but, some decisions you made in your past just don't allow you to get there. And now you're stuck because you looked at this home, and now you want that home, but you can only afford this home. That's what kills people. That kills their drive. And now they're stuck renting, throwing away their money, and it is really, really sad.
It is. And, the other side, though, is also true sometimes where, I spoke to a gentleman yesterday who's going to try to buy his house from his landlord.
Okay.
And he's veteran. His wife's a veteran as well, full entitlement. He didn't think that he could qualify for a VA loan because his wife lost her job last year.
Okay.
But he makes 6 figures,
Okay.
does well for himself. He's perfectly qualified. So there's certain instances where people don't think they qualify, especially VA. Remember, the VA home loan benefit is designed to help you buy a home. It's almost like they say yes and then look for a reason to say no maybe. Like, it's like
Pretty much.
They want to help you buy a home. They believe that you've earned that right. And I agree. And so a lot more veterans can qualify for homes than they realize.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and that's the thing that's really crazy about it too. So there's kind of the flip side too. There's a lot of people out there going, man, I wish we could buy a house. You can. And then there's a lot of people going, yeah, let's go look at houses. I'm sure we can buy one.
And then you can't.
And then you can't. So yeah, it makes sense. It's like if we were going to have a garage sale and you were going to sell me a toaster. If I came up and I had the cash in my hand, we know who that is. That's a cash buyer, right? That's easy. I can see the money. If I'm going to say to you, well, you know what? I had the money. It's in my car. I got to go get it. Then that's not as sexy as the cash. But at least, okay, your car's around the corner. But if somebody says, yeah, I got to go to the ATM and then I got to see if I have enough money to buy it, who are you going to go with? It's, I mean, that's what it is. So that's the reason why we always recommend that people get fully pre-approved.
Right. Because, I mean, when you're walking up with a loan that's already pre-approved, as long as something crazy doesn't happen, it's almost a guaranteed thing, right? Like, you actually have to have some things that come up, especially with the VA. Like, they're very flexible. It's funny you mentioned garage sales. It's kind of like for sale by owners, right? It's like, you got is it a Mac?
Yep.
Okay, great.
MacBook
So
Pro.
at the store, that's what, $1,700?
Probably, yeah, something like
Right. So, but at a garage sale, would you pay $1,700?
that. No.
That's what a for sale by owner is. In this market, like if you're going through like someone like me that's an agent, a realtor, and you try to sell it on your own, people are going to lowball you. They're going to come in and try to get a better deal. It's like putting your car on Auto Trader, right? You're going to get lowballs all day long. But you go to the dealership, that's the price. You can negotiate a little bit, but nowhere near. And you're not going to pay full price or even close to it at a garage sale for something that you can go to the store and know that it's good because someone's representing it.
You see more for sale by owners pop up?
I have actually. And it's funny too because there's a lady, she lives here downtown, and I've been working on her for a year to sell her home. She was remodeling, doing all this stuff, and then she popped up, on Facebook. Hey, I'm selling my condo. I was like, oh, you didn't call me? She's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it myself. And I said, okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's funny because she's doing like the Macarena little shimmy dances, saying come by my home, and on her Instagram.
Shimmy.
Yeah, she's doing little dances and yoga poses and stuff. And it's funny. I feel bad for her because like she really thinks that all realtors and brokerages are the same when we're not. Because she's listed it twice before and it never sold. It's not my fault. I didn't do it, right?
Well, the trouble is this. If it's for sale by owner, the buyer knows that. So they're immediately factoring in, oh, okay, you're saving this much money, so I want that.
Right. Or they don't even know it's for sale.
That's the other problem.
Right? I mean, what buyer has direct access to the MLS? And how many sellers actually put their home on the MLS? How many pay that fee to do that? Not many.
And if you do, are you offering, the cooperating broker or something? And if so, then what are you really saving? Or are you saving anything?
Well, honestly, you're not. You're actually going to lose money. And the big reason is, for sale by owners usually sell about 91 to 93% of their list price.
That's true.
Right? Whereas the MLS, as a standard, sells about 95.6% of list price. Well, where me and my team come in, we're at 101% of our list price.
Dang.
So, a little something.
Dang.
Keep it real, But because we price things aggressively, we market it right. And the average days on market right now is, 28 days, where ours is 12. You know what I mean? So if you have to pay a mortgage this month on your home, you're trying to sell it by yourself, you're paying anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000, $5,000 on your home this month. And you're going to sell it for 8-9% less than I am. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
You know, so it's just, you know, it's education. It's really education. I mean, you know, you ever bought a car from a person on the street?
I have bought cars from private owners before.
Okay.
For sure.
Did you get a screaming deal on it?
One time I felt like I did,
Uh-huh.
and it was just a gamble on
Uh-huh.
a car that didn't really work out that well.
Okay.
You know,
You
but
didn't have mechanical issues or something?
yeah, it looked like a good deal.
Okay. Okay. So you didn't have it checked before you bought it.
No, it wasn't one of those situations.
So it's called an inspection.
You need to get an inspection. You know what? An inspection saved me from buying a piece of crap house one time, though.
Yeah?
Saved me.
Yeah?
This is way back in Missouri. Buying an investment property for $100 grand.
Okay.
3-bed, 2-bath, split level.
Wow.
And the inspector climbed up in there and he's looking all around. He looked all frantic. I was like, "What's going on, man?" And he goes, "There's no insulation anywhere in this house." I said, "What?" He goes, "There's no insulation." This is Missouri, mind you.
I think it's cold there.
It gets really cold, gets really hot.
Yeah.
I said, "What do you mean there's no insulation?" He said, I can't find any insulation anywhere. They didn't put it anywhere. Not in any of the walls, not in the attic, nowhere. The insulation guy didn't come when this house was built 12 years ago. I was like, "What? How could that be?" I was like, "Well, so what does that mean?" He's like, "Well, it means there's been a lot of strain on, the HVAC." And, he's like, I don't know what else might be causing problems with that, but if they missed that, I don't know. He said, "I only do so much in this inspection, so you may want to pay for more of an inspection." I said, "You know what? I'm out of here."
Yeah. I would never buy a house in oil. No.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
These people had owned it for 12 years and didn't realize. I was like, "Do you guys not notice it got really hot and really cold in this place?" You're basically living outside of Missouri.
You just got to lean to. You got a cover on your head. That's it.
Yeah, you're in a tent here. What the heck? So,
No way.
inspection is 100%. I don't care if you're buying new construction.
Oh, I do them on new construction all the time, and they try to get you not to.
Right.
You know, and I went into a new construction down there in Chula Vista, man, and the stairwell was bendy. Like, you could see the wall wave.
What?
Yeah, it wasn't straight. It wasn't-
Attached?
Yeah. No, it was detached
It was
home.
detached?
Yeah, it was a single family home, but the wall did this. Like, you're looking down the stairwell, and this wall's straight, but this wall does that. And you just looked at it and go, "What's wrong with this wall?" And they go,
Something's wrong.
"What do you mean?" I said, it has a wave to it. And, the rep comes over and goes, "No, it doesn't." I like, "Look again, man." And they look and, "Oh, man, we can get that fixed." You going to rip the frame out and fix the framing on a house? Because that's what it is. You guys didn't line the studs up properly.
Correct.
Right? And the drywall guy just threw it up on there, and when he attached it to the wall, instead of putting shims in to make it match, he just threw paint on it, put the mud on it, and was good to go.
Yep.
They don't care.
Yeah.
I honestly would never buy a brand new home.
Really?
I won't do it. They're throwing them up so fast, and they're cutting so many corners because of all the regulations and
That's
taxes
true.
they're paying. I'd rather buy a house built like in the early 80s, and that's what I did. I went and bought one that was built in 82 and remodel it, because those studs, the framing, everything is good.
Yeah.
The new ones, they throw them up so fast, and I have a friend. She was just talking about it on Instagram. She bought a brand new house. Thought, she was selling her old house, buying a brand new one, so she wouldn't have any problems. But she got plumbing problems already. Been in the house less than a year. She's pissed.
Yeah, I would be.
That's what you get. I'm not as a bad thing, but it's unfortunate because they're throwing these houses together so quickly, and they're getting unlicensed workers to work under a general contractor, and they're just, "Okay, looks good as long as it passes the the inspection, which is the frames there. Yeah, is everything labeled right? Yeah." But they don't check everything. Things get missed because they're inspecting 200-300 homes. They're not looking at everything like what a single inspector is.
Yeah, the builders have a hard situation. They have a difficult scenario right now.
They're stuck.
It's really, really tough. It's like, well, how do we make a profit?
Yeah.
The
only way to do it is to hire cheap labor. When you get cheap labor, you get less skill. When you have less skill, you get bad workmanship. So
I've seen it firsthand, man. It's not pretty.
a lot of flips.
Yeah,
Like that too.
A lot of flips are like that. There's some people doing good work out there on flips. Don't get me wrong, but
definitely.
there's also some people that aren't.
Yeah.
So you need inspection. It's super, super crucial.
Yeah, I always check. I like to check around where hallways and doorways are when they do the flooring, because if they don't do it right, you can see gaps all the way down. right? And if they did that, I know they missed other stuff.
When I see the front door has a gap this much in the bottom of it, that's always a telltale for me. I look at that when I walk into a new one.
You see the person open the door's feet on the inside.
I can smell something like, man, are y'all cooking in there? What's going on?
Yeah, man.
Dang. So yeah, that's the new construction it can be problematic. It
Yeah.
can be. There's no
Yeah.
doubt about it.
It's just you have to get the inspection.
You have to do it.
Because I mean, this house could be great. This one not so much. This one could be okay. This one could be better than okay. You know, the QA, the quality assurance on it isn't like across the board. You know, and it's unfortunate, but you get that with the track homes because they're just throwing them up quick.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, yeah. I mean, what's cool about it is, remember, we started there a little bit ago when we were talking about how once you get your offer accepted, you're in a situation where you have the power now, where you get to say, you know what, hey, this is my house now, or it can be if I want it to be, but I got 2 weeks to figure some stuff out.
Right.
So let me take my full period of time and really look at this and go, is everything what I thought it would be? Is the inspection pass with flying colors? Is there stuff that's wrong? And you have the opportunity to renegotiate. It's actually a really good opportunity if there's legitimately something wrong, because again, that seller, they don't want to come back on the market.
No.
They really, really don't. So if some stuff's messed up, it's a good chance for you to be like, hey, we still love the house, but we got problems.
Yeah.
So this is what's going to cost to fix it. Let's work it out. Right? I mean, that happens too.
Definitely.
And in fact, with a good agent, a lot of times that's where you're making up the difference. If it's a situation where, right?
Yeah.
Like if it's like, hey man, my buyers love the house, but you got some problems with this house. And even in a tight market like this, where they may have had other offers, they're going to run into the same thing. They're going to do their inspection. They're going to find the same stuff. Do you feel like in a hot market like this, does that deter some of your ability to negotiate or renegotiate amidst the transaction?
No. I just crushed this guy in Chula Vista. Like, I destroyed him. Like, I stole his soul, man. Like, it was bad. So we came in 20 grand below list price, right?
What?
Yeah, we came in 20 grand below list, got accepted, and then negotiated another 25 grand in credit. We paid this dude's credit cards off with the credits from the seller. Like,
You said I stole his soul.
I just, get over here, just ripped it out. Like, it was bad, man.
Well,
and at first I was like, oh, let's, I was telling my buyer, I was like, dude, I don't know if we can get that. That's a lot. He's like, well, it's missing a deck. And I was like, yeah, but we knew that, so we got it 20 grand less. He's like, fuck that, I want it. I was like, okay, let's go. And then I went back to the agent, and dude, it was so bad that, like, the agent disappeared from the transaction. Like, I had to go.
Ghosted?
Like, he ghosted. The sellers didn't know where he was. Escrow didn't know. Turned out he had, someone in his family pass away. But, at the same time, like, hire an assistant or a TC, man, to handle your stuff. So I had to go directly to the seller, get a non-seller agency agreement to get them to sign disclosures.
Wow.
21 days into escrow, no disclosures. So we had to extend escrow out because we were supposed to be on like a 21-day close.
We got one going right now that we'll talk about as soon as it closes. Because some people don't, when they counter offer, they don't read everything sometimes.
He's going to be mad too.
You need to be reading some stuff,
I'm
y'all.
not saying anything.
Yeah, no, we're not going to say anything until it's closed.
My buyer's happy though.
Buyer should be very happy.
Yeah, he's happy.
He'll be very happy.
He's good.
A veteran buying a house, and he should be very happy about it.
Dude, it's hilarious, man. It's in English.
I know.
I didn't write it in Latin or Russian or.
It's right there. I saw it. It says it.
Yeah.
But you got to read your contracts, folks. Got to read your contracts, and when you counter stuff, you don't counter stuff out. It's still in.
Yeah.
Lesson.
Yeah. You have to. The counter does not. When you change the price on the counter, if I asked you for something and you didn't take that out in the counter, I'm still getting that.
Yep.
So if you still change the price, I really don't care because I'm still getting it.
Yep. So careful what you're doing with the counters out there.
I didn't steal that guy's soul though.
No.
But this guy, like, it was literally almost 50 grand difference.
Yeah.
Like that's
wild.
Yeah, you don't see that on a house in the mid 600s.
In this market.
Yeah, you just don't, man.
So I want to be very encouraging because I know it's a tight market. I know the coronavirus fear mongering is going crazy out there. I know the stock market's going down. I know. I'm gonna get some masks for people when they walk in, Paul. We're gonna order some medical masks, some nurse masks, and that way people can grab them on the way in if they feel like they need to.
Hey, I'm gonna get a whole hazmat suit.
Come and do the next
go on
like
listing appointments in the hazmat suit. Hey, look,
Sorry.
I'd love to sell your home, but I don't know if you got corona.
The virus. The virus.
Did you see the meme? Did
No.
you see the meme?
Which
Yeah.
one?
Corona offered $1 million to the CDC to change the name to Bud Light virus.
That's true. I wonder if that's hurt their sales, man.
I doubt it.
Because it's a lot of fear mongering.
I mean, yeah, but it's beer.
But people can be stupid sometimes, man.
I don't think they're that dumb.
I hope not.
It's beer, though.
I hope not. Yeah, it's beer. It's good. Corona is still good. Coronavirus bad. So, you know, there's a lot of fear mongering going on out there. But I just want to stay. I want to stay positive because the opportunity is still awesome. A guy asked me this week, Jay, you'll love this. A guy asked me. He said, "Do you think right now is the right time to buy a home, or when would be a good time?" I said, "The right time is 20 years ago. Always. The right time to buy a house is always 20 years ago, because you can go back 20 years in any market, and you'll find that it would have been a good idea to buy a house, even through everything we've been through." And the downturn and the Great Recession, almost depression that we experienced, even if you bought a house 20 years ago from today, you're in great shape through all that. So even if you bought at the top of that, we're above that now. So yeah, it's all about time. If you have time on your side, if you can be in the game for long enough, you win in real estate. That's what's so great about it. The formula's simple.
It's long term.
Yeah, simple.
Like it's a long term hold. Like real estate is a long game, right? It's not a short game. It's not penny stocks that you're playing with here.
Correct.
You know, so I actually did some research on real
that?
estate that I don't think anyone else has done. I went back to 1800,
Whoa.
right? So everybody talks about a 10-year flux cycle. It's actually 18 to 22 years, right? And that's nationwide. Going back to 1800, there's a chart, and I looked it up and I read all the numbers and checked all the stats. But the thing is, it doesn't matter if things drop, because when things drop, your interest rate spikes, right? I mean,
Usually.
Do you remember what happened in the 80s? What was the interest rate in the 80s?
A lot.
Yeah,
Teens.
teens. Like we're spoiled.
We are spoiled.
We're spoiled. People are like, oh, 3.5, that's too high.
I should mention mortgage bonds trading at the highest prices of all time today, which means rates are the lowest of all time today, as of this morning. Lowest rates in the history of mortgages
Ever.
today. Today. That
Ever.
happened this morning.
And we said the
Fact.
same thing like a week or two ago, because it was the lowest it had ever been, and now we beat it today.
Yeah, it was
know?
like 2 weeks ago. We were like 8 basis points away from the lowest rates of all time, and then we finally eclipsed that. I'm actually going to pull up the chart here because I want you to don't have to take my word for it. You can see it for yourself. Pull that up, Paul, real quick. So this is mortgage bonds, all right? This is the 3% coupon, and you have some moving averages and stuff in there, but you can kind of see, like, this is just back in December right here. Rates were still really good, right? But look, as this goes up, rates go down. And you can see here where we knocked on the door, we got really close to that all-time high, and then we punched through it, and here we are right now. So we're just in a situation where stocks seem to want to come in. They seem to be sort of just over it.
Right.
And what happens when that takes place is that a lot of people look for the safe money. The safe money is going to be on these bonds. These 3-year or these 3% notes, these 30-year notes at 3%, look a lot better than the T-bills and stuff and the 2s, which are actually now down in the 1s. So this looks pretty sexy.
Yeah.
And that's why money's coming here. And when money comes here, the price goes higher, just like with anything else.
Right. And interest rate goes down.
And interest rate goes down.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at. That's what's happening. Literally lowest rates in history today. That was it. We didn't plan that.
No,
we couldn't have.
No, we didn't make that happen.
We didn't make that happen. It's happening.
Yeah, it's happening. I mean, the crazy thing is, man, with if you think about this, like $150,000 house at a 17% interest rate, I mean, like your payments are ridiculous.
Yeah, it's true. People were paying the same payments in the 80s for houses that were 60 grand. And where I'm from, I remember when we sold our house for $67,000. And I remember thinking, that's so much money. I don't know what my dad's going to do with all of it. And so I asked him, I was like, Dad, what are you going to do with all that money? And he was like, oh, I don't get all that money. The bank gets most of that money. I was like, oh, okay, I didn't get it. But I remember when he was telling me he had an adjustable rate, and every year the payment was going down because rates were going down. And that's what you do. When rates are really high, you get an adjustable so that as rates come in, your payment can go down automatically without having to refinance. That's the whole point of an adjustable. Do not get an adjustable rate right now. It makes absolutely no sense to get an adjustable rate right now. So get a fixed rate for sure. Actually doing a refinance for a veteran who got a conforming arm in 2005 and has not refinanced.
What?
For 15 years.
Why hasn't he refinanced?
I don't know. I think he was waiting for me. I don't know. But
that's rough. How much extra money has he been paying all this time?
I didn't do the calculations because I could tell in his voice he knew he'd been screwing up. And I just said, hey, you did the right thing now. We were in good hands. I'm gonna smoke this for you, and you're gonna absolutely save a ton of money. I'm gonna get you fixed. I'm gonna get you in your VA loan, disabled veteran, no funding fee. So there are people, I think you might be the only one who still hasn't refied, but there are still, probably some folks out there like that. So when we look at this, when we look at what the opportunity is of rates being low, we can pretty much bank on rates being low for a long time. I think that's really what's great about right now is that for the foreseeable future, what would cause interest rates to go up? Well, that would be an absolute, complete collapse in the belief system that America is the safe place for your money to be. Because what's happening is across the globe, other countries are struggling. When other countries struggle financially, what happens is the smart money comes here. And with the sort of what we have right now going on, I don't want to get political here, but I'm going to have to, because what's happening is with the administrations, they're protecting the country. They've got tariffs going in the right directions, we're renegotiating bad deals. So what's happening is it's making it a little bit harder for some of the other countries out there, and they're already struggling. So the smart money comes here. That's why we have all the Chinese money coming in, buying real estate, because they're like, listen, I don't know what's going on here. They might just take the money out of my account one night, and I can't do nothing about it. So I'm going to send it to the U.S. I'm going to buy the house, and I don't even care if it goes down in value. I know I'll have something.
Right. Well, we actually had an investor from China that was buying $1 billion worth of houses within less than 6 months.
What?
Yeah. They had $1 billion. They had one agent they were working with out of San Francisco, and they were going from San Francisco to Phoenix, and they were buying up entire neighborhoods. So they were doing that to hide their money. Because, I mean, if you look at what China does when they're pissed at the U.S., they drop the value of the money.
Yeah.
Right? They just go, bloop, and they drop it down. Well, if the money's here, it doesn't hurt them. So they're trying to hide all their money here in the United States. And what does that do for us?
Yeah.
Right? It hurts the housing market because there's less houses available for our citizens to buy.
True.
So, I mean, is there a way to fix that? I don't know.
Well, they've put a lot of things in play.
There's other taxes and stuff for investors.
It's
and stuff
harder
like that.
for the money for someone who's a foreign national to be able to buy real estate here. They've made that much more difficult. We actually saw that hurt the market for a little bit when they first implemented that stuff.
When they started doing it.
Yeah.
Because they bought up San Francisco, L.A., Phoenix. Like, they were just going to town.
They were crushing.
Yeah.
And so that did change some dynamics when they made that rule change, which I was for that, because I believe, like you do, that, hey, people here, listen, how surprising would it be if 50 years from now, it's very difficult for people to own homes because Wall Street owns most of them, super wealthy billionaires buy all the houses and rent them because that's a no-brainer investment. When will the whole wealth of the world realize that, all we should really do is just buy all the houses?
So they're already doing that.
I know.
They're already doing that. Like,
it's begun.
I'm working with hedge funds right now. So the iBuyer programs that you see out there, OfferPad, Offers, Owning, Zillow,
Instant offers.
Yeah, instant offers, all this stuff. They're just taking capital investment and they're dumping it in the real estate market, and they're buying and holding. They're not even flipping. They're just buying it and holding it. Because where do you get a better return on your investment than real estate? I mean, the stock market fluctuates too much. At least with real estate, it's always going to go up because it's a very limited resource, right? We only have so much earth we can sell, right? The United States is only so big. So outside of that, how can you buy more? You can't. We have to build up.
Yep.
So if all the ground is taken, that's it. So That's why I tell all my vets, man, get in now. Every duty station you go to, PCS, buy a house, rent it out. Buy the next house, rent it out. You know, just keep doing that. Recycle that program, and you'll retire with 4 or 5 houses. And why not have that? And then 30 years from then, you know, you're making $10,000, $15,000 a month in rental income.
Somebody else pay the house off for you. Yeah.
Why not?
Well, that's why the big cash. You know, my long-term concern is that those hedge funds will own all the houses, and the only way you'll be able to buy one is if you way overpay for it, if you're super wealthy. But middle-class people will not. Veterans won't be able to buy houses because it's going to be owned by Wall Street.
Yeah.
Because if they could somehow corner and control it, imagine if you were a hedge fund, you're trying to maximize your profits. You know, if we buy every house in this neighborhood that's a really desirable area, let's say we buy every house in Poway or something like that. And you might think, no, there's no way, that's not possible. No, they have the money, they could do it. So they buy every house in Poway. So now you want to live in Poway, you want Poway Unified School District, you got to rent from one of these dudes or one of these companies. And you just have to pay whatever they want.
Yeah.
And that's it. And you're never going to own it. You're not going to get any tax benefits. You're not going to get any equity. You're not going to get any appreciation.
Nothing.
You're just going to pay them. And that's my long-term fear, is that one day that's going to be the case. And I don't know when it is, 50 years from now, 100 years from now, or if it's 30 years from now. But right now, I know the interest rates are low. You can still buy a piece of this great country.
Right.
You can buy a piece of America's finest city. And you can control your own destiny.
Yeah.
When you do that.
And that's the biggest thing, building generational wealth for yourself and your family, right? Like, so many people don't see it. Like, I see it all the time, especially with vets, right? Well, I don't plan on living in California, so I don't want to buy a house there. Okay, well, you're in the Navy, right? What are the chances of you being stationed here again? You know, well, I only have, 14 years left. Okay. So that's what, 3-4 more duty stations? Yeah. Well, I don't ever want to come back again. What are the chances of you getting stationed here, right? And, well, I don't know. Well, wouldn't it be nice just to have a place to come back to and make money while you're gone, right? Or if you do decide, like I have a listing right now. Their plan is to go to Wisconsin, right, in the summer. So we're selling their home. They bought it only 2 years ago, but they're still taking money back with them, right? If they were renting, they'd walk away with nothing,
Just guaranteed loss, yeah.
Yeah, guaranteed loss. You're just, that money, like, I'm not going to lie to you. I want to buy more rental properties. Why? Because someone else is going to pay my mortgage for me. They're going to make me money.
It's a huge favor.
Right. Like, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
It's a huge favor.
You're awesome. So.
Have you heard this trend? Landlords are now sending tenants wine and Christmas gifts and all these things because...
To give them a stay.
Absolutely, because they want to be like, hey, he takes care of me, you know?
Take care of my 30-year mortgage. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, buddy. Thank you. Oh, that's nice.
I was showing a house the other day, man, and the lady opens the door, and she was really sad. I was like, oh my God, are you okay? And she was like, yeah, I'm just really upset with this whole situation. And I was like, what, you selling your house? She's like, no, I rent, but they're selling it. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I saw the frustration on her face. Well, she wouldn't have that frustration if she would have bought her own place, right? She's paying that person's mortgage. There's programs for that. Like, there is down payment assistance. There's all these things available to people.
It's true.
Who don't have a VA loan.
CalHFA?
Yeah.
Also something
everything. There's all this out there. All these different options to be able to get your piece, and call it yours. And people are taking advantage of it. And there's nothing that I can do, that you can do, that can make people see the light till they realize for themselves. And usually it's too late. I mean, how many 35-year-olds that don't own a home? Right? I know a lot.
Too many.
How many 25-year-olds don't own a home? I know a lot. I bought my first house, I think, at 27. So I was a little behind the curve. You know what I mean? Not going to lie.
Yeah. I was lucky. I got in the mortgage industry at 19, so I bought my first place when I was 20.
Nice.
Yeah, but
Nice.
it was a good time.
I was drinking beer and screwing around. So, was single dad, divorced, just like, screw it, I'm gonna go party. Right? I'm gonna get a house with some roommates. We're gonna get drunk every day. It's gonna be a great time.
It probably was.
It was awful. we had some fun. But then I realized, man, I got to get something for me.
Yeah.
Right. And I didn't even realize I could afford something. So, like, I look back, early 2000s, the houses that we're seeing now that are 700, 800,000, they were brand new then, right? Year or two old, and they were at 290,000, 350.
It's crazy.
right? And now these things are $800,000, $700,000. And everybody's, well, what about the recession? Yeah, it hit that and would drop down. Now guess what? It's back up, right? And it's still going. Like it's not going down because there's not enough houses on the market. Like we need houses to sell so that other people can move in. So if you're leaving San Diego, please call us.
Yeah,
you
let us
know,
know.
0202-7951. It's my Cal DRE number.
There you go. Slide it in there. Take this opportunity. I mean, if you are leaving soon, what a great opportunity to be a seller, huh?
Yeah,
How about that?
Why not get that bidding war? Like I mean, you're okay. So we price your house at say $650. We get 8 offers. You're gonna sell for like $690, $700. Like it's gonna happen because we're gonna do a multiple counter and we're gonna get multiples again and we're gonna counter those ones again. I just keep pushing it up. Like I even told a buyer once, no, give me 10 more grand, and they were like, what? I said, give me $10 more thousand and you can have the house. They said okay.
But that's the situation. So if you're a seller, great market to be a seller. Great market to be a seller. If you're a buyer, you really need the right team, and
you gotta
do the right things.
I mean, regardless of who you're using, whatever you do your research. I mean, what kills me is they get these agents have been in the industry 3 years. They sold 2 to 3 houses, right? They're living with somebody else that's taking care of them, or they're living with family, friends, you know, still living at home with their parents. You know what I mean? And they write the contract wrong, right? I see it on Instagram and Facebook all the time where people do boomerangs or show a video of them scrolling through their contract. I'll pause it and I'll see it. And I see, oh no, they're screwing them right there. They missed that. They missed this. That's not checked. You know, if they're a family or friend, friend or family, I get it. I appreciate the loyalty.
Yeah.
But how hard is it going to hurt you, the individual, when you hire someone that's a friend or family member that's never really done this for a living, right? You need a professional.
It can be detrimental. And I've seen people just like you mentioned earlier where some people will, they'll sacrifice and they'll say, it's okay. If he doesn't, it's fine. It's my brother. Mm-hmm. If we don't sell for as much as possible, it's fine. I have to let him do it because he needs the rep. And if you're willing to sacrifice money, I mean, you must love your brother. That's great. But just know you might have some money on the table.
Exactly.
And if that's the case, then that's the case. But what a great market to be a seller. What a great opportunity in this country to be a buyer. This has been keeping it real. I think we did a good job keeping it real, man. We hit a lot of different things in
Kept
here.
it 100. I think we got to get grills next time, though.
We're going to get grills. Either that or coronavirus masks, one of the two, or hazmat suits.
How about both? Coronavirus and then pull it down and
the grill. Jay Lee, great to see you, brother.
You too, brother.
Appreciate your time,
Thank
my
you,
friend. Hey, share this with your friends. Let's help make them smarter than everyone else. We'll see you guys soon.
All right.